Good day, Class 10. We are back again with history. So open to page 62, topic 3. It says, towards civil disobedience. Gandhiji decided to withdraw the non-cooperation movement in February 1922. Why did he want to do so? What were the reasons? Gandhiji felt that the movement was turning violent in many places. Satyagrahis were needed to be properly trained before they could be ready for mass struggle. Some leaders within the Congress were tired of mass struggles and wanted to take part in the council elections, where they could oppose the British policies from within the council and also argue for reforms and demonstrate that these councils were not truly democratic. There was a split in the Congress. C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru formed the Swaraj Party within the Congress, while Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose pressed for more radical mass agitation and for full independence. Two factors shaped Indian politics in the late 1920s. First was the effect of the worldwide economic depression, where agricultural prices began to fall and collapsed after 1930. Exports declined and peasants found it difficult to sell their produce and pay their revenue. By 1930, the rural areas were in turmoil. The Simon Commission of 1928. A statutory commission was set up in response to the nationalist movement. This commission was to look into the functioning of the constitution system in India and suggest changes. This commission did not have a single Indian member. So, when the commission, headed by Sir John Simon, arrived in India, all parties demonstrated against it, and they began to shout, "Go back, Simon." Lord Irwin, in October 1929, announced an offer of dominion status for India and a roundtable conference to be held to discuss a future constitution. The liberals and moderates within the Congress lost their influence. At the Lahore session in December 1929, Jawaharlal Nehru formalized the demand for Purna Swaraj, or full independence for India. It was also declared that 26th January 1930 would be celebrated as the Independence Day. The people were to take a pledge to struggle for complete independence. Now we come to the most important topic, the most interesting one. The Salt March. Gandhiji had to find a way to relate the abstract idea of freedom to more firm issues of everyday life. He soon found in salt a powerful symbol that would unite the nation. On 31st Jan 1930, Gandhiji sent a letter to Lord Irvine stating 11 demands. The most stirring was the demand to abolish the salt tax. Salt was consumed by the rich and poor alike. It was one of the essential items of food. The tax on salt and the government's monopoly revealed the most oppressive face of British rule. Gandhiji's letter was an ultimatum. If the demands were not met by 11th March, the Congress would launch a civil disobedience campaign. Irvine refused to negotiate. Gandhiji began his famous Salt March, accompanied by 78 of his trusted volunteers. The distance was 240 miles between Sabarmati and Dandi. It took him 24 days, stopping and encouraging the people to peacefully defy the British. On 6th April, he reached Dandi and violated the law, manufacturing salt by boiling sea water. This marked the beginning of the civil disobedience movement. What were the people asked to do? The people were asked not only to refuse cooperation with the British, but also to break laws. Thousands broke